But we are going into game one with Pugsyxd versus Remmy. Remmy sticking with the Koji and Pugsyxd pulling out the Asuri.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what goes on here. You know, bow is something that I think really hits hard against guitars, since guitars have to really come in for the spacing. But sword, I think, is something that Pugsyxd can absolutely use to his advantage against the bow. I think there are certain moves that he can use to get away from the full approaches that Remmy puts down.
Absolutely. I think Pugsyxd is going to find a hard time approaching with a bow, and like you said, he's probably going to find more success with sword in this matchup. However, we will just have to see how that plays out. Both players are trading evenly so far. Single hits, not really any combo starters just yet.
It seems pretty even. You know, every single hit follows up by a counter hit from the other player. Pugsyxd has a small advantage. He does get himself into a proper edge guard position, but unfortunately he can't follow up and kill Remmy there.
Yeah, both players have found themselves in the orange. Pugsyxd does find that bread and butter combo, and that's going to send Remmy into kill percent. He blows his dodge, but that recovery is going to interrupt Pugsyxd and stop his attempt at an edge guard.
Pugsyxd does get the dare, but can't do a follow-up with either a narrow recovery. Remmy does get the side sig, though.
Yep, 2 side sigs in a row. If the first one doesn't work, try, and try again. And Remmy does manage to end Pugsyxd's stock there. He's got a stock lead. He's in kill percent. He's racking up the damage with these neutral lights.
Yeah, he's getting all the horizontal interrupts. Everything Pugsyxd tries to go in because he's not jumping. And all he has to do is do some throws and neutral lights. And Pugsyxd is just unable to get in. He does get the signature, but that's unable to kill Remmy. And right now, Remmy is getting enough damage to put some worry into Pugsyxd as he's in the orange, and stocks are evened up at 2.
Yeah, absolutely. Pugsyxd has managed to even up these stocks, but he's at a damage deficit. He's going to need to do a ton of work to come back against Remmy. Remmy right now, we see him with the sword instead of the bow, and I feel like that's going to leave an opening for Pugsyxd to make an approach with these guitars.
But unfortunately for Pugsyxd, it's just not working out right now. He does get a small string, but that's unable to do much. Remmy, unfortunately, Pugsyxd does not have the frame advantage to really take advantage, and Remmy comes back around. It looks like he's gonna get the kill here if he can do a proper edge guard, but fortunately for him, that recovery comes out fast enough that Remmy can't get the dare out to get that edge guard kill.
Yeah, Pugsyxd has done a great job at closing this damage gap, but he found himself in kill percent, and Remy's gonna use that down sig read to close out the stock and secure a stock lead once again.
Unfortunately for Remmy, he did end up throwing away the other things on the map and wasn't able to get that bow back. He does get it now, and that's going to be extremely important. I think Remmy feels a lot more comfortable with the bow, but that's not going to be enough to stop him from getting killed by that nair.
Yeah, that was a beautiful nair, and it damaged just enough for it to kill, and now the stocks are even, and it's pretty clean so far. We're not seeing Pugsyxd at a deficit anymore, and that might be huge.
Yeah, Pugsyxd looking to use the guitars as much as he can while Remmy is weaponless. He has the sword now, but I don't think that's going to be enough against Pugsyxd's guitars. He does need a bow to really counter that weapon right now. Pugsyxd going in for a lot of dare reads. Some of them are working, some of them aren't. But I think it's enough that he's racking up bits and pieces of damage against Remmy right now.
That was a nice
the
dare in the
follow-up is huge. Can he get the kill here? Doesn't quite look like it's going to work out.
I was looking to see a Gravy Cancel neutral sig there, but that was probably going to be too risky. Both players pretty even in health. It looks like Pugsyxd's trying to find a finishing string, but he really can't get the opening on the Remmy just yet.
All right, Pugsyxd, both are in red. It's very close. The side kick is gonna stop Pugsyxd from going around and approaching from the opposite side.
We had full coverage from Remmy right there with those signatures. He went right, he went up, and he went left, and Pugsyxd ran into
neutralite into neutral sig into side sig, basically just following Pugsyxd as he tried to go around and around.
So Remmy is gonna take game 1, and it looks like we're going into game 2, and my game just froze. Hold on.
Uh-oh. Doesn't sound very good. Well, right now, currently Pugsyxd is sticking with Asuri, Remmy is sticking with Koji, and we're getting map bans out of the way. Didn't quite see exactly what we're going to, but it looks like the map we're headed toward is Mammoth Fortress again, so
we are back. We are back on Mammoth Fortress in game 2. Remmy managed to take game 1 just barely against Pugsyxd. Let's see what Pugsyxd can do now in this game 2. Will he be able to take a game from Remmy and bring it to a game 3, or will he get knocked out and sent into the loser's bracket?
He does get the early hits. He's doing some great job with sword reads right here. Unfortunately, it's not that much damage. I think he needs a little bit more if he wants to make sure he can secure something early on. He's being very careful against that bow. It does have a lot of coverage.
Pugsyxd has managed to bring Remmy into the orange, but Remmy is looking to catch some bowstrings, maybe close the gap a bit, but he's found himself in kill percent, and Pugsyxd's looking for the finisher.
Yeah, Remmy was doing some fancy chase dodge pivots, but it wasn't quite working out. Maybe a little too fancy. He did get caught by that dare ground pound, and that's going to be it by Pugsyxd. The side sig is going to kill.
So we've seen the complete polar opposite from game one. Pugsyxd is now the one with the stock lead over Remmy. He is in the orange, but he has the opportunity to rack up a ton of damage and secure this lead here. Looking to see it happen.
And those side lights are big. They do significant amounts of damage. Pugsyxd also looks to be trying to get proper recoveries. Those do even more damage. He doesn't quite get the kill off the top, I think. Remmy was looking for that. But right now, Remy's in red now, and Pugsyxd has done really well at taking advantage of his one stock lead. He's still
Absolutely,
not dead.
He's still holding on to the stock. He dodges through the mine, manages to recover, catches the dare, catches the recovery. He's looking to take out Remmy and get a 2-stock lead.
He does get the kill, but right now, Remmy is really, really high in the red. Getting that recovery again just puts Remmy in a position where, you know, even a quick unarmed sidelight will absolutely kill him.
Absolutely, Remmy is going to have to play very carefully if
he
wants to hold on to the stock.
Not quite.
Pugsyxd has still yet to be damaged here. Remmy does manage to catch the nair and the dare.
Remmy looking to make sure he doesn't die too early. At least get some damage on before he inevitably gets caught by what looks like...
Ooh, that Sarah clips, and that's going to give Pugsyxd a clean stock lead. He's not even really damaged. He's got an opportunity here to take this one home.
Alright, so Pugsyxd looking to make sure he doesn't overextend the lead that he has now. If he tries too hard to get a kill, Remmy can absolutely punish that. And right now, Remmy's being very careful with the bow. He's getting the hits in when he can and backing away when he thinks he's lost the frame advantage. Pugsyxd is really struggling to get a proper approach since he has Katars against Remmy's bow.
Absolutely, but Remmy has now switched out for the sword. But he does catch that neutral sig, but it doesn't kill. Pugsyxd is able to make it back.
Pugsyxd is in high red, though. If Remmy can get a quick kill here right off the bat, he only has an orange deficit to try to make up for that last stock.
Right, but Pugsyxd is playing very carefully. He's thinking about his approach. He's spacing quite well. He does catch Remmy with that down sig. That's going to put him in prime position to kill.
Pugsyxd out of his recovery. He's able to make it back.
That was a game changer right there. Remmy might be able to close this gap and take this one home, but Pugsyxd, with the damage advantage here, already has Remmy in the kill percent. It's not going to take too much to close out this stock.
Yeah, Pugsyxd doing those falling stairs. All he needs is a couple good hits more. Remmy needs to make sure that he stays on the defensive here, use his bows to space out Pugsyxd. It's not quite working out, though. He overextends on that ground pound, and that weapon toss is gonna end the match.
Toss. Nice. Pugsyxd does manage to take game 2 in this best of 3. We're going to be going to a third game with Pugsyxd versus Remmy, and we're just going straight into map bans. Both players still sticking with their legends. Pugsyxd is now very confident that he can probably take out Remmy in this game 3. At least that's what I feel. I saw an entire, playstyle change. It went from Remmy in game 1 having the stock lead almost the entire game to Pugsyxd making a playstyle adjustment and him being, at the advantage with the stock lead.
Yeah, Pugsyxd in the past has done a very good job at winning tournaments. He's very solid and consistent overall, so it's really going to be very difficult, I think, for Remmy to try to close out this set, but it is a best of 3. Remmy only needs to win one more match if he wants to continue. We'll see how this goes, as both players have a sword now, except Remmy is getting the good reads with the downlight dare resets.
Yeah, that double downlight was really good from Remmy. However, Pugsyxd using his recovery to rack up the damage and close the gap. Both players are now even. And looks like Pugsyxd's looking to make an approach from the center stage.
Yeah, so it looks like we had 2 Mammoth Fortress picks off early on. This particular map pick looked like it was Remmy's, but Pugsyxd in the past has really favored Thunder Guard. He loves being able to go back down and around the bottom of the stage whenever he feels uncomfortable in edge guard situations. And for someone like Remmy, who does a really good job with edge guards using bow, that's going to be dangerous.
Yeah, I feel like it's going to go both ways. I mean, if Remmy gets the bow in hand, you're going to see a lot of dares probably coming out, and that's probably going to gimp Pugsyxd. However, the other way around, if Pugsyxd plays with Katars, he might get a gimp in that center stage. That shenanigan zone could be a game breaker. However, Pugsyxd does close out that stock with a Sair, and he's now at a stock lead over Remmy, and he's only really in the orange, so it's going to take quite a bit still to bring him into kill percent.
Yeah, Pugsyxd choosing to stick with that sword. Throwing away any semblance of guitars, it definitely, without a doubt, looks like sword is a stronger weapon in this matchup against Remmy.
Absolutely. Looking to see how Remmy can take this back. He needs to close out this stock without taking too much damage, but Pugsyxd spacing appropriately, using his dodges and catching those bread and butter combos.
Oh, wow, the down sig catching Pugsyxd, that's not something we see often.
Yeah, that down sig is really actually kind of hard to use. You got to have some hard reads to manage, to hit that one.
And it looked like he really had it against Pugsyxd there. Well done by Remmy.
Absolutely, Remmy did manage to even up the stocks, and he hasn't taken too much damage. It's a pretty close game so far. Remmy is the first one to enter orange, but he responds with a neutral light on Pugsyxd,
wow,
and Pugsyxd is on his way there.
He does get a reverse downlight when Pugsyxd's behind him, and it pops him up just a little bit. BMG might want to look into that.
BMG, please. Both players are in the orange. Both players are looking to set up a string. Remmy does find his way in with a downlight, and he's brought Pugsyxd into the red.
Yeah, Pugsyxd looks like he's slightly down here. It is a very close match. Remmy looking for the kill now that Pugsyxd's in red. All he needs is some good option coverage, and it's going to look very bad for Pugsyxd. Pugsyxd being very careful. The Nair's not going to kill quite yet, but Pugsyxd is unable to really get around Remmy.
No.
Get back something. No one's going to get the edge guard, though.
Remmy almost closed out that stock with that dare, but Pugsyxd, with that nice dodge, managed to stop that from happening. Both players are in kill percent. This could go either way right now, and I feel like whoever gets this kill first, it's going to be a big game changer.
Looking very close, both in red. Pugsyxd, he's talked in the past. He struggles against bow. He doesn't like the weapon in general. So it's up to him to try to see if he can adapt in time. Sarah's going to get the kill.
The Sair does take the kill, and yeah, I feel like a lot of players are uncomfortable against bow because of those long diagonal hitboxes. They're very thin, but they catch you off guard with those dares.
Pugsyxd doing a fantastic read with that side stick. It's something I love seeing coming out of players because that side stick, I think, is underestimated overall when playing Asuri.
It absolutely is, and it's one of the scariest things to hear come out. I gotta tell you what, when that Asuri starts charging across the map, you gotta get out of the way.
Yeah, those reaction times have to be on point to make sure you don't get killed. Pugsyxd right now with a slight lead, getting in those dares as approaches. That looks to be working out really well, and I think he's going to try to reproduce that.
Absolutely. Remmy has found himself in the orange. He's starting to play a little bit more patiently. He's being more careful with his spacing, but Pugsyxd is catching him with these downlights, and he's carrying him across the map while racking up a ton of damage.
This is actually really big. I want to point that out. Remmy is trying to outspace Pugsyxd with the neutralize, and it's not working. Pugsyxd just approaches with a dare, and that's all he needed, a proper approach, and Pugsyxd takes that set.